Hey, so in this video, which has been long anticipated, we're going to talk about preparing flowers, silk flowers or paper flowers, for putting resin over them or other mixed media product that's a finished sealant. And we're also going to talk about how to make a necklace base out of Grunge Board by decoupaging it. But first I want to thank my friend Connie, who prepared a wonderful tutorial for our website. And the reason I've got my old readers on is because I'm going to read part of it for you. And I want to encourage you to go to the project ideas section of www.bsuboutiques.com and find Connie's project on how to resin over silk flowers. You'll also find it at her website, which is, I believe, www.julesdesigns.org. Yes, julesdesigns.org. I'll print it out in the description for this video, so if you'll kindly look there, you'll find the URL. You can click on it. You can go over and actually purchase some of the completed flowers that she has done and made into jewelry from Connie, which would be nice. Connie's been experimenting with the ice resin over top of silk flowers really a lot, and she's achieved some wonderful results. And in a subsequent video to this, I'm going to show you a couple of pieces that she actually gave to me as samples, and then I've made a little ring out of one, so you can see how really cool it is. But first, before you do ice resin or any other mixed media product over top of paper, which is what we're focusing mostly on today, you normally need to prep it. We're going to be talking about different media. I like to use Collage Podge in either a matte or a glossy, but you can also use your good old standard Mod Podge, and it's fine. There are other decoupage media out there too that you can use that are fine, that will be fine. You need to cover your work surface. You're going to need whatever you're going to put it on. Like she uses silk flowers, I've got paper flowers over here. You're going to need some ice resin, which we do carry at bsuboutiques.com. We have the whole kit for you. You're going to need some Mod Podge. We have Collage Podge at our website, but it's pretty much the same thing. I kind of like Collage Podge better. It dries a little quicker for me, but you know, either one is fine. You're going to need a bowl or something to contain the Mod Podge. You're going to need tape, 2 sponge brush applicators. That's what Connie uses. I actually use brushes, but whatever you like and works for you is fine. And then she likes to glitter her flowers. I do that sometimes too. So let's get on over here and let's see how I go about prepping the flowers for resin, because you must prep them first before you put the resin on, and I will show you that later too. And let's just come on over and let's just get to it, okay? So anyway, as you see, I've got my surface covered. Now, if I was going to do a session where I'm going to do flowers in the quantity that Connie does it, I would have this whole thing covered and taped down. But I'm just doing a few, so I've got a decent, thick quality garbage bag on here. Don't use the real cheap dollar store ones. Get a heavy one. I learned this when I took Susan Leonard Casmer's class in doing resin. When you're working with stuff like this, use the best plastic surface you can. But this is good enough for here. Now, what I'm going to use is this product, Collage Podge, which is an instant decoupage. It's a matte. It's developed by Tracy Bautista, who's a quite well-known mixed media artist and art journal maker. And it is from Aleene's, actually, which I like a lot of Aleene's products. In fact, I'm going to talk to you about Aleene's paper glaze later. But anyway, I'm not sure, did I open this inside yet? There's like a little tab inside. I think I did. I used this before. Anyway, I'm just going to pour some in here. Connie says use a bowl. I use this little thing here because I'm not going to be using a lot of it, so I don't want to waste it. So you can see it's kind of thick and glurpy. I'm using the matte. I think the matte is better. Although I want to show you, one of these flowers in front of me here is already prepped. I don't know if you can see which one, but it's this one. Actually, I think I would do another coat on this, but I use the gloss Collage Podge, which is the red bottle, for this. And it's kind of got a little bit of a shiny surface on it. Actually, you know, if you did another coat of this and you just wanted to use it like this and not ice resin it, You absolutely could. And we're going to talk about that in the second subsequent video to this, about other products that you can use. But anyway, I'm going to go over this again and show you. Well, maybe not this one because I've got the gloss on it. Let's do this. This is matte, so let's do the matte. But anyway, I just get my brush in there. And this is messy, guys. Expect to get it all over you. I've been picking this stuff off me like all day because I did a lot of this yesterday getting ready for the video. But you know, it's simple. If you've used a brush before, if you used any of this media, or if you've ever painted, I mean, it's like a no-brainer, right? Nothing to it. And yeah, it's going to white out stuff. Don't get worried about that. It's going to all dry clear. But you need to get up underneath all the petals too, okay? And another reason I like to push them up is because if you don't, they're going to all stick together, because this is kind of like a glue type stuff. You're going to have some of that anyway, but anyway, Connie says in her tutorial, when you do the resin, you know, just do thin coats. And that applies for your Mod Podge too, or your Collage Podge, or whatever you use, because less is more. It'll dry faster for you, you know. And you can always go back over and see where you missed stuff and, you know, get it on there. But this is basically the way it goes on. I mean, how hard is this, right? And you've got to cover everything, because here's the deal. If you put ice resin over this, or any kind of resin product, and you put it over paper that has not been treated, chances are very great that it will go transparent on you. Now, I even did one like that I'm going to show you in the next video to this. If you're okay with that, then big whoop, do it. Go for it. If you want that transparent look, go for it. Especially if you made the papers yourself out of old rag paper, the old pre-20s rag paper. Go for it. You know, but I do not want these flowers to go like that, transparent. I want them to retain their pretty design. These are nice art papers. These are Prima flowers, by the way, which we carry on our website. And we will be having more Prima flowers as time goes on. And also, don't forget Anna Fearer's beautiful flowers and her tutorials that she does. I think she will have a tutorial on making flowers and jewelry with paper very soon. So anyway, that's how that goes. We're going to pause for just a minute, and then I'm going to show you how to make a base from grunge paper. So anyway, I think I neglected to tell you too, the Collage Podge, most of the media like it, Mod Podge the same. It's all non-toxic, so you know, it's not fun getting it all over yourself. I should have bent this back. It's not a big deal, not to worry. Same with ice resin, is also non-toxic. Some people do have allergic reactions to ice resin, so I don't recommend that you want to get it all over your skin, but if you do, don't freak out. It cleans up pretty good, soap and water, if you get it right away, or if you know you see remnants on yourself. Acetone is a real good way. That acetone being the full strength type nail polish remover that you use on natural nails. So you can get it at any dollar store for $1. So okay, so this is all non-toxic, and that's all cool, but you gotta get it covered, and you might want to go back after this dries, and you might want to do it a little bit more. The best thing to do is let it sit for 2 days before you resin it, if you're going to ice resin it. Now some other products you don't have to wait that long. Hold on just a sec. But with ice, you've got to be sure that this is completely dried out before you proceed and do the resin top, because this is water base. And anything that is water base, you know, it's got to be dry, because you put ice over it, it's going to stay tacky. Ice does not like water, okay? So 2 days at least, okay, if you're going to do ice over it. Okay, now, I promised you that I was going to show you how to make a necklace base from Grunge Board. This is the necklace base that we carry at BC Boutiques in the necklace blank section, and I use a boatload of these, and we sell a boatload of these, and you all love them. And we're not going to stop loving them just because we learn to make one out of Grunge Board, but there's sometimes that you might not want a metal base. So, what do? Well, I found out that Tim Holtz's Grunge Board was a real good thing to use. And so, this is Grunge Board. We have it at the website. There are 10 sheets in here, pretty good size. I think this is around $12, something like that. You'll get a lot of mileage out of this, okay? So this is what I use, and this is what it looks like. Okay, as you can see, I've already applied some old paper to this. It's a little bit wrinkled, but I don't care. It's no big deal. Okay, so how did I do that? Well, probably most of you know already, but just in case you don't, let's use the rest of this Collage Podge up. Okay, so I'm just going to go like this. And what you want to do, oh, there's a little hair or something on there. What you want to do is you want to be sure that you get it all the way out to the corners, okay? Just in case you want to use your corner, because, you know, and your edges, because if you don't, you know, it's going to lift, just like any other paste you might use. You know, we're using this as a form of paste, okay? So now if you want to use Elmer's glue or something else and don't use this instead, well, you know, I suppose you could do that, but I found that just using the same media, in this case that you're going to actually decoupage with, works just fine. So again, I am using Collage Podge matte, and I'm getting it all worked out to the edges, okay? So now if you wanted to use Grunge Board without an image on it, that would be fine. You could paint it if you wanted. Don't do this. But, okay, so I used old paper on the back of this, and I'm not totally crazy about how, I mean, it looks okay. It's alright. But I think I'm going to like a better quality, newer paper, reproduced paper. So I'm just going to lay this Grunge Board right on there and smooth it down. Okay, now you that have been working with paper for a long time, you may say, oh, Brenda, we can do a better job than that. You can do a better job. You know what? I've worked with paper off and on for over 20 years, but I don't know all the tricks, so that's just how it is. This is how I do it. If you can improve on it, then you just go ahead. Improve on it, and then let me know. Yes, I am using my good metal shears that I got from Linda and Opie O'Brien, and I hope that they don't mind. But you know, these things work really good, and I left my Tim Holtz ones upstairs. So anyway, so now I've got this. What am I going to do with this? Well, what I'm going to probably want to do is weight it. And how will I weight it? Well, Robbie, just turn around and follow me, okay? I'm going to stick it right over here on this piece of marble board, and I'm going to take my little cheap Doris pasta machine, stick that on there, okay? Now it's going to be flat when it dries. And what I'll do then, when it dries onto here, I will put the medium on top of this again, just like I did on this side, okay? And finish it. And then I will have a piece of paper ready that I can cut out in shapes and templates to make my necklace space. So Rob, if you want to follow me back over, I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, you can see here's the piece. I actually successfully got this through my Cuttlebug with a lot of effort. I don't know if I want to encourage you to do that or not, because this Grunge Board, along with the paper on it and then the Cuttlebug folder, really taxed my Cuttlebug. And what I ended up doing was opening the folder up so I would have one less layer and putting it through that way. So I got a little bit of an imprint on there, but it wasn't really necessary. The only thing it did really good for it was press the paper really down on there. Good. But as you can see, I just traced this on here. Now, if I'd been a little smarter, I would have moved this up a little higher, and I might have got another one out of this paper and not had waste. But you can always use this stuff for other things, and I'm going to show you that in a minute too. So now it remains only for me to cut this out. Okay? So I'm going to do that. And when I cut this, I'm going to endeavor to cut directly on the line so that I get rid of it, okay? Because I don't want that trace line showing, okay? Now, there's going to be a video right after this one that we're going to do today that will upload today, providing our battery holds out on our camera, where I am going to show you a piece that I made from this. Okay, and it really came out really nice. You're going to want to make one too. Let me tell you, you are. But I'll show you how that I pierced holes and I actually eyelet riveted through this. And you might say, well, Brenda, aren't you going to have like a, rough edge or something? It's like, well, yeah, but what I do is I just take a gold leafing pen and run over it, which I can show you that in a second too, except I didn't bring it over here. Oh well, I'll show you. You're just going to have to watch the next video. Ha ha ha. But this is how I do it. So now I have a grunge paper base to use with my paper flowers. And if you notice, when I did that, I flattened this so I could use it as a template, but you guys probably know from buying these, they usually come like this. Just a little bit of curve to them. Well, what's so funny is when you cut this out, it mocks that curve. So isn't that neat? So this is really perfect. And what will happen then is you will see in the next video where I've taken flowers and applied over this. And you could wrap this with fiber, lace, beads, ribbon, oh man, just other images, so many ways you could go. So anyway, hang in there with me and I will go ahead and I will put the gold finish on this, and in the next video we'll pick up with that and I'll show you what I've made from it along with the other mixed media products I found that work really well besides ice resin.